by her. So excited for what's going to happen tonight, especially because, you know, no matter what you do for a living, Kelly and I were talking about this earlier today, Juice Plus is the foundation of support that every physical body needs, and we all weave Juice Plus into our lives and our conversations. You know, I was just saying, excuse the polo, I just ran in from a golf lesson, and I so appreciate that my body has the nutrients that it needs to do something like golf. So real quick, I'm Andy Kennedy. I'm from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and I'm a senior sales coordinator with the Juice Plus company. And I heard about Juice Plus from my dear sweet friend, patient friend, Lori Agner. Even though my husband had been taking Juice Plus for 7 years, I didn't think Juice Plus was for me. And so I didn't know that much about it. And so I always say that Lori is really the person that introduced Juice Plus to me. Because after 5 years of elimination diets, meaning I was taking food out of my diet to try and take, you know, control of what was going on with my health, for me, I had no idea the bounty that Juice Plus would give to me, and it really has. It's helped me take my health back, which is amazing. Fast forward 3 years, it's given me so much more than that. This awesome family of people, and you know, even people that are on my own team that I didn't know before we started this mission, and that's what it is for me. It's a mission to help others find health the way that I did with whole food. The results from Juice Plus for me are that my body is in balance, but my thyroid is in balance. I don't take any medication for my Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism. My inflammation is drastically reduced. I feel like 10 years younger than I am at the ripe old age of 43, knocking on the doorstep of 44. I sleep through the night, which even if I had just gotten that one thing back, that's huge for me. And my skin also, I suffered with psoriasis for 25 years. So that has really, really, really improved. So I think I'm just going to turn it over to Kelley and Casey and let you guys take it away. Kelley, thanks.
I just wanted to ask you a couple questions, Andy, before you sneak away.
I'm not sneaking away. I've got 20 minutes. Yeah.
I just wanted to have you share a little bit about how it's impacted Craig and how he.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my husband Craig is a T12 paraplegic, and the reason he started taking Juice Plus, he broke his femur water skiing, and the doctor told him that he needed calcium. And we knew that he was going to pee 90% of that calcium out. But a friend of ours kept dripping on us about that as well, and invited us to a Juice Plus talk. And he asked the woman, who was giving the talk, if she could, she had any studies or could prove that he could get calcium from fruits and vegetables for his bones, for his bone density, because anyone that is a paraplegic, they have really poor bone density because they just have no weight bearing on those legs. So absolutely, she gave us some white papers. He submitted it to his doctor. Every time I see someone at corporate, we ask. I think Craig is still the only person whose workman's comp is paying for his Juice Plus, but there probably are a few others out there. But for 9 years now, Juice Plus, our Juice Plus is thankfully free because he was injured skiing down from the mountain. So anything wheelchair related is covered, thank God. And what it's really given Craig is those first 7 years, Craig was just on the reds and greens. Our distributor never told us about the purples or about the complete powder. And so, really over that stretch of time, he's just healthy. He doesn't get sick. And he's around, people all the time, and he's out skiing all the time, and he's teaching skiing. And so all of that definitely has that stress on his body. So he doesn't have that, loss of immune boost is what he gets from Juice Plus. But then when I started sharing Juice Plus and joined the company, we added in the purples, and he noticed circulation coming back to his legs. So he comes in from skiing and his legs aren't as cold for as long, or even very cold at all. I think he cut down the number of socks even that he wears. So he has that improved circulation in his legs for sure. There are definitely some other benefits that circulation wise for him. But Also, I think he's really noticed the mental gain from it. You know, he doesn't have that fog. And I've noticed that too, that at the end of the day, he doesn't get tired. He doesn't have that mental fog. And yeah, really helped him actually take off some weight too, like 10 pounds, but still tone up and just be generally a healthy, you know, 45-year-old man living with paralysis. Every time he goes down to the hospital to get a checkup, which is not very often, and once every 3 to 5 years, they tell him, although Mike, they may tell you this too, that Craig's the healthiest paraplegic they see. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I hear that a lot with people on our calls. You know, if it's diabetic, they're the healthiest diabetic that they see, you know. So I think that is awesome. But he's also recently started really loving the shred and loving the complete and living really the whole mission, because he's sharing Juice Plus. This is his full-time gig as well as mine. So is that what you wanted, Kelley?
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted, because I think it's hard when we're doing what we're doing, because so much of prevention is subjective. Like, you don't necessarily feel it.
Right.
So when you have things that have changed before and after, I think it's good to try and... Okay, so I'm just going to introduce myself for those of you that I don't know. My name is Kelley Braun. I'm a national marketing director with Juice Plus. I've been with the company almost 9 years, which I can't believe. I have 3 children. I live in Marblehead, Massachusetts. I've been working as a physical therapist for 30 years, mostly part-time. I have 3 kids, and it's a great field that you can work into the demands of, or the pleasures of being a mom and being around for them. So we started, this was not something I was looking for, and this was not something that I sought out for, either in a business or in the product. It was my daughter. She came home at the age of 15 and said she was interested in eating healthier. The other part of my background is I am a teacher for health and phys ed. I also have coached many sports. So my whole life has really been physical, whether it be physical education or physical therapy, just active. I get the whole piece of exercise and the role that that plays for our health in keeping our bones strong, our muscles strong, and in prevention. However, I did not study nutrition. I actually stayed away from it when I went to University of Connecticut for physical therapy because it was so complicated. So when my daughter came home and said she was interested in eating healthier, I decided that we were going to try to figure this out. And I went and listened to a doctor speak, and he started talking about the power of nutrition. And at that point, we decided to put her on the Children's Health Study. What changed over the next few months really caught my attention. I thought we were eating fine, but my daughter was very compromised by exercise-induced asthma. Her whole childhood was filled with inhalers, nebulizers, prednisone, albuterol. She was playing 3 sports in high school, but she was very compromised by her breathing. She'd have to pull herself off the field to do her inhalers. She raced ski racing, and she would, if she had to hike or she had anything that she had to really overexert herself in a race, she'd get a really bad asthma attack. There was one race she came through the finish and she couldn't breathe. I wasn't there because I was coaching skiing at another mountain. I felt horrible. I just felt like I was in the wrong place as a mom. Luckily, a friend of mine was there, and that's the point when she was put on prednisone. The other thing that would happen is every winter, she would get a barking cough that would last the winter. After we added Juice Plus to our diet, her asthma started to get better. And I skeptically got curious and wanted to know why that was happening and started digging and looking for answers. The first thing I noticed was that there was an article in the Journal of American College of Cardiology showing how nutrition can impact cardiovascular wellness. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's the #1 killer. If you could do something to impact that, that would be worth it. Why aren't people talking about this? Many of the people that I was working with were compromised, either because of stroke or something that had happened from a heart attack with anoxia. So I thought, this is powerful. If you have something that can promote health, isn't that something that a health professional should be sharing? I continued to look and really try to search. Somebody's not muted. Let me just see. Sorry. I can't tell who's not muted. Okay, wait. better now. So that was the first thing that happened. We really noticed a difference in her asthma, that she was better able to perform on the field. The coaches also noticed, which was huge. The next season when she played lacrosse, her coach said, what changed? You know, she used to have to do inhalers. Now, fast forward 8.5 years, Haley played 4 years of college lacrosse. We have not renewed her inhalers in 8 years. And this is something that she just, you know, had to have every season. And she shared Juice Plus with her college coach, and her coach recommended that the whole team be on it. Now, of course, the whole team didn't sign up, but the coach realized that this would be a great way to keep the team healthy, okay, so that they could, and also support their immune system, and also support the recovery, faster recovery. This coach was very forward thinking, and she would make the girls stay in the locker room until they ate something, and she'd have them drink this Cherry Farm drink to get antioxidants in them before they left, because she knew that if she didn't do that before they left the locker room, chances are it wasn't going to happen. After Haley finished playing college lacrosse, we went back to some of the athletes to talk to them about what they noticed. And we have a PowerPoint presentation that we do for nutrition in the athlete. We highlight many of those athletes, because with something like Juice Plus, because so much of it is subjective with what you notice, it's really interesting to go back there and find out. And they noticed all different things, from not being as sick, of course. Others noticed that they had a better ability to focus. The trainer noticed that those taking Juice Plus recovered faster from injury. And one of the coaches that worked with Haley the 4 years noticed that the athletes that were taking Juice Plus were improving their personal best in strength, endurance, and speed every week. And Haley went from being compromised by her breathing to performing at one of the highest levels of all the teammates through college. So really, I mean, to be able to empower your children to perform, or anybody to perform at the highest level, is pretty cool. The next part of my story is my father then got cancer. He was a healthy 78-year-old golfing, just always paid attention to his health. He'd run in the morning, up early. He ran Hartford Hospital. His whole life, you know, was around healthcare. And that, unfortunately, when you get a diagnosis like that, it really causes you to not only care, but also get angry. I mean, I was really angry. He was diagnosed with a glioblastoma brain tumor, and he was gone in 2 months, just like that. And as I started to really look at why, even though we're spending so much money on research for cancer, we are not impacting the number of people or the age. I can think of 5 people in our town right now that are my age or younger that have been diagnosed with cancer. And part of the problem is we're chasing and looking for a cure rather than chasing the cause. And what we do know is that things have changed. Things have changed in our environment, and we know that things have changed in our food. And if there's something that you can do to make a difference with that, then that's when I really became committed, personally. Because things are coming down the pike, and if there's something that you can do to make a difference with how that presents to you, then it was worth it. And then the third part of my story is the dash. You have the day that you're born and the day that you die, and in between it is a dash. What are you going to do with it? Do you want to do something meaningful and purposeful? And I know as a physical therapist, what I love about this job is it's about helping people. It's empowering people to do more, to have more, to be more. You know, whether it be in a nursing home or someone that's been compromised by a spinal cord injury or traumatic head injury. What I like about my job as a physical therapist is the helping others, giving back, and working with people. What I didn't like about my job was the billing and all the paperwork. And I was working mostly in the end as per diem, which is when you get called on weekends and holidays. And I was called in 3 different times to learn 3 different billing computer programs. And then you're not spending the time with the people. So I shifted. Now I do Juice Plus full time. I believe that we can make more of a difference in the health crisis today by empowering people to take charge of their health. But the piece of that is the nutrition piece, which is the difficult piece when you look at how food is changing, how hard it is for us to get freshly grown food, not food and produce that's been jet lagged in the grocery store, and really help people fill that difficult piece, which is flooding your body with the variety. And we know that it's making a difference because of the research. But what is more interesting is what people notice from committing to taking it. So the only physical therapy I do now is I volunteer my time. We have a boy that became a quadriplegic his senior year in high school when he was on a school trip in France. And he is now home. And I work with him. I volunteer to work with him once a week, once every other week. Also helped him get hooked up with this Project Walk, which is an amazing program that's up in New Hampshire, where he goes and works out 3 days a week for 3 hours. And I volunteer my time because that's something I can do as somebody in the community. And it's the give back. And that way I can stay a little bit in working with the physical therapy. This business gives us exposure to amazing people. I'm just going to share one story because this is the beauty of what we do in the field of Juice Plus. I got a lead from the company with someone that signed up for Juice Plus. And this girl was about to go over as a paraplegic and swim in the Paralympics in 2012. And she wanted to get the Juice Plus sport. So I started having a conversation with the mother. I found out that this girl had 2 colliding viruses when she was in 5th grade, and she was in a coma for 3.5 years. She started coming out of it with 1 blink. Blink was yes, 2 blinks was no, and she started getting some of her function back. A huge part of her recovery was swimming. And she started, because she used to swim when she was younger, before the accident. She's also a triplet, so she's one of 3. Somebody, if they could mute their camera, it'd be really helpful. Somebody's like moving all around, and I don't know how to, it's really distracting. I'm sorry. Okay, so one of her practitioners recommend that she get on Juice Plus, and it made such a huge difference to her with her gut health. Like all of a sudden she was on a feeding tube. So she loves her Juice Plus. She now has actually started, she's walking. Her mother was completely committed to get her, walking again, moved to California for 6 months and found out about this Project Walk program. And then she opened up and started it in New Hampshire. So she was just hired as the youngest employee ever at ESPN. She does the X Games. She's walking without any crutches or anything. And she has a TED Talk. If you're interested in watching it, her name's Victoria Arlen, Arlen, hugely inspirational. And she loves her Juice Plus. The other thing that is really important to share that I noticed with the boy that I work with is when you look at different issues that are correlated with someone that is a paraplegic or quadriplegic, one thing he notices is he has fewer UTIs. Now, a urinary tract infection can knock somebody completely out of the picture for a long time. So if you can have something to help that, that's huge. You're empowering people to have a stronger immune system, especially when you may not be able to move around as much as someone else. And also that, just the whole bathroom routine that can help with that as well. So now what I would like to do, because we have some other physical therapists on the line, I'd like to have Casey unmute and share your story.
Okay. Hi, I'm Casey Murphy. I'm a physical therapist. I'm out here in Denver, like I said. And actually, one of the things I don't like about, or did not like about my job, was also the billing. So I recently, in October, kind of went out on my own as a physical therapist. So I'm now a solo practitioner, and I don't deal with billing, and I do not deal with insurance. And it allows me to spend the time and the quality treatment with my clients. So but that's not quite enough. So the Juice Plus kind of came into our lives. So that all started about 1.5 years ago, right? Yeah, we met Andy's husband, Craig, for the first time. We were up at Steamboat skiing. And my husband, for those of you that don't know, is also a paraplegic. He is a T9 injury. And so he did not have his own ski at the time. So we were skiing through the adaptive program, and Craig was our instructor. And being kind of the health nuts we were at the time, we started talking about nutrition, and Craig was like, well, he did his whole Juice Plus spiel. And my mom was actually with us at the time visiting, and she was newly retired. So she jumped on board right away. Made total sense to her business-wise, and, the product was an added bonus. Fast forward, and we actually ordered it from my mom, had it in our hands, and we took it very inconsistently. I've just never been a pill popper, so for me it was really, really hard to get used to taking it. So I would take it inconsistently. I'd think about, we got married in October, so I was like, I should start taking Juice Plus, and then I'd stop. And so fast forward to this past December, Mike runs into Craig again at a ski event, and he was like, Mike does his own business as well, and is pursuing his athletic dreams. And Craig was like, why aren't you doing this? This is a great support for your athletic, activities. And so
it's expensive.
Yeah. Yes. All the trips are very expensive. But, and then I was like, you know what? It makes total sense for my business as well. So we kind of teamed up, just knowing the benefits, even though we weren't taking it consistently, we knew about it and then knew the benefits of nutrition and everything. We actually, I think one of the reasons we weren't great about taking it, because we were very healthy. We were eating very well. We did a smooth green and fruit smoothie every single morning without fail. And, we thought we were getting all of our variety of fruits and vegetables, but really looking back, we had 5 different maybe greens and fruits in there, and we were eating
the same stuff over and over,
eating the same thing every single day. So
time consuming,
and very expensive too. It adds up. It gets very expensive when you're buying all organic fruits and veggies. So when we went into the business, we started, taking it every single day, and that's when we really started seeing the benefits almost immediately. I think I had more energy within a week, maybe 2. We used to do an afternoon coffee every single day. Just 1, because we love coffee, but 2, we always felt like we needed that afternoon pick-me-up. And so we'd make a pot, but we no longer do that. We don't even feel that we need it. And even in the morning, we don't drink as much. We kind of have our cup, and that satisfies us, and we're on with our day. But I have energy until I go to bed, and I sleep much better. So, and Mike, actually being a paraplegic, he's had chronic back pain for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So popping the Advil all the time, until the Juice Plus, and that has decreased his back pain about 90%.
Quite a bit. Yeah. I'm pretty much off Advil. It was almost debilitating at times. So this has been one of the greatest things that come out of Juice Plus is my back pain. And I'm so thankful for that.
I'm thankful that he's no longer, doing the Advil and killing his liver. But the other thing too, which is huge for both of us, is his ability to not have to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. So bladder function, you can't control when you're paraplegic, and he would wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and he no longer has to do that.
So I sleep through the night, which is incredible.
So sleeping through the night, which also means I'm sleeping through the night. And so that's huge for both of us. But and for myself, I have celiacs, and although I'm gluten-free, I'll occasionally, go out to a restaurant and you get some cross-contamination, and I'll have some symptoms. But since being on the Juice Plus, I really don't notice anything at all anymore. So my gut health and just digestion in general is, I would say, as good as it can be. And then the other thing is I've hated my hair my entire life because it's never been healthy. It's been very and when I had the celiac, when I was first diagnosed, my hair was very, very frail and brittle and just dry, and I could literally break it apart. Since then, it's It's the healthiest it's ever been. So it's just crazy that we thought we were so healthy the way we ate. And I've been gluten-free for 4 years now. So we really got into nutrition and what it does to your body, and, removing all the crap that's in our food and really educating ourselves about nutrition. So we knew it was such a key to how we feel and how it affects your body. Like Kelley was saying, that, diet versus exercise. Diet is such a huge, huge component. It's probably 80-20, like nutrition being the 80. And so I forgot where I was going with that.
I have a question for Mike.
Yeah.
So with you working out and doing all your competition, do you notice a difference? Is there anything that you can measure for recovery or a difference in performance?
Absolutely. So I did, I was a collegiate athlete. I was a runner, track and cross country. And so I've continued to do half marathons, things like that, just to kind of keep in shape. And I'll train just for the marathon or the half marathon. And so I did the Colfax Marathon, which is the marathon out here in May last year, training for it and doing longer runs, 7, 8, 10 miles. I would be sore after because it's just not something I typically am doing. So I would be sore for a day or two, or even the first time I run in a long time, I'm sore. And this time around, after the actual half marathon, I was sore, but throughout the entire training, I never had any soreness from building up my mileage or anything like that. It was crazy. And even after the half, I wasn't sore as long as I would have normally been.
So I like the science behind that. And I don't know how many people look at the science, but that's with it's DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness. You know how 2 days after the event, you're even more sore. And the way that impacts it is the antioxidants neutralize what you create more of when you exercise, which is you increase the protein carbonyls and the free radicals because you're burning more fuel for energy. So you create more exhaust. The easiest way to explain it, my daughter, when she was a senior in high school, said, "Mom, will you come in and talk about health to the health class?" And I thought, oh my gosh, if I start talking about oxidative stress, they're all going to go to sleep. How am I going to explain it? So I said, okay, imagine everybody on the lacrosse field has a free radical. They're all missing an electron in the outside ring. So they're all charged and unbalanced, and they want to be balanced. So they're bumping into each other, trying to steal that one electron, which is the one ball that's on the field. And they're all fighting for that one ball, bruising one another, fighting one another, pushing one another over. If you have a diet rich in fruits and vegetables and or taking Juice Plus, it's like having a bag of balls rolled onto the field so that everybody can have their own ball. So they're no longer unbalanced and fighting for the one ball. Because fruits and vegetables have an abundance of electrons. They don't need them. So when you flood your body with fruits and vegetables, you have an increased ability to neutralize, recover, and rebuild. So that's how it scientifically inside the body is impacting what you're feeling in your muscle. Does that make sense? Did you already know that?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And Mike, how about you? Do you notice a difference?
I do, especially with the skiing this past season. I'm getting into the racing at Winter Park, and it's been pretty demanding with the driving out there a couple times a week and getting up early. And when you go out free skiing, it's easy. It can be easy. You go at your leisure pace. You do what you want. But when you're racing and training gates, it's you do 5-6 runs and you're wiped out. And you do it in the morning, the afternoon, depending on the weather. And compared to seasons in the past, I can really tell a difference in my energy and my lack of soreness. I've been skiing for about 8 years. Before that, I would come home from 2 days of skiing and just be completely on the couch, couldn't move. But the last couple months of the season, the Juice Plus has really helped. And having the shake for lunch and then afterwards, I know I'm getting everything I need for the recovery, which is critical, especially with how demanding that race training is and where I want to go with that. So it's only going to get harder. So I'm just glad I have the Juice Plus there with me.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing. And now why don't we just talk a little bit about how we share it? Because once you kind of understand what Juice Plus is, we get really passionate about sharing it, and sometimes it's not so easy. And I was just thinking tonight, I was at Tucker's Boy Scout end of the year party and meeting. I talked to one of the nurse practitioners that's there, and I've been talking to her forever about Juice Plus. Her son eats nothing. He does not eat any vegetables, and he didn't like the taste of the gummies. So I don't like to give up. So I was like, well, what if you did it in the capsule? You wouldn't have to taste it. So she agreed to try it again. So that was a huge, but basically when we share Juice Plus, it's really an individual decision. And what I find is most effective is you want to engage in a conversation and find out what potentially is that person looking for. Because if you can uncover a need and come back at them with a solution, then you're solving a problem, not pushing or selling. And Casey and I were talking a little bit tonight about being a physical therapist and understanding the power of what the food does in helping with healing, recovery, injury, anything that anybody's going through. It's so hard not to share it. How do you share it effectively within a practice or as a nurse? And it's kind of like if you're a teacher, you can present it and then take it offline. So you can let them know that it's there. And then I think it's best to either invite them to an event outside of your clinic and or have a system within the clinic. So you could say, if you would like more information, leave your name and number with the receptionist at the desk, and I'll follow up with you off hours. If there's clinicians that are here that want to talk about, what they do and how they share it, if they have questions, I'd like to open it up to questions. Just know that you're all muted, so you would have to unmute if you want to ask a question. No questions? Really?
Ariana, I'm going to throw you under the bus. You have a lot of great questions.
I know. I was waiting for someone to say something else, but
Jump in.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. We're all about scope of practice and everything. How do you go about sharing with your patients without really stepping on nutritionists' toes or kind of working outside of our scope of practice?
See, I don't see that we're stepping on nutritionists' toes at all. I see that we're helping them. Because what are they recommending? They're recommending to eat more fruits and vegetables. We're giving them a very valuable tool.
That is true.
Help their clients be more successful.
That's true. But as far that makes sense.
You're saying because you're not the nutritionist, what are you doing talking about nutrition with your clients?
Exactly. My expertise is the musculoskeletal system. Yes, it is fruits and vegetables, but why should they listen to me over someone else?
I would take that nutritionist and I put them on the pedestal and say, would you be willing to look at what's happening with people when they take this? Would you be willing to look at the research? And let me know, let's do a web walk. Let's do a web walk and you take a look. And what are you recommending and why? And if you understand the power of fruits and vegetables, can you see that this is that?
Yeah.
And some nutritionists who really are
now have you
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so other than the scope of practice, I know that Casey has the benefit of owning her own practice, and so she doesn't really she has no real overhead. I'm working under a company. Right now it's corporate. I'm going into a private practice when I move to North Carolina. But have you ever talked to your patients about Juice Plus while still being under a company? And where are the legalities and kind of boundaries with that, in your opinion?
Well, it's hard because mostly I was in a nursing home. So a lot of times those people are not making the financial decisions.
It's true.
It's the family. And it was frustrating for me because they'd be giving their patients Ensure. And I was like, are you serious? This is disgusting. But it's really hard to change that system. That's one of the reasons why I'm not working there anymore,
Yeah.
because I just felt like it was stuck. It's a broken system. So and then we did a wellness presentation for the nurses at the nursing home. And you know that the charge nurse came to lunch with, guess what? A Coke and a Snickers.
Really?
I'm like, seriously? So sometimes sometimes you just can't make the change. You're looking for people that are looking for something. You're looking for people that want to make a difference. You're looking for people that want to do more, have more, be better. And it's when we get into trouble is when we try to convince people of what we see. They're either going to see it or they're not. And you don't want to waste too much time with the people that are not going to get it.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard, I mean, in a nursing home is very different, but now in an outpatient ortho clinic, where people are making their financial decisions, and I mean, I work in Washington, D.C., most everyone is very well off, but with the company kind of overhead over me, is there kind of a conflict? I just don't want to get into
Trouble.
a place where I am.
Yeah.
They're like, why are you selling something that's not from the company? And it just can. I see it. There potential for being a lot of mess.
Yeah. You want to keep your discipline straight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I would recommend taking the nutrition outside of the company walls. So
and invite.
If you're having a discussion with them about what inflammation or whatever it is they're dealing with, say there is something that could help. If you'd be interested in learning more, I do this also on the side. I'd be happy to talk with you outside of work.
Okay.
There do need to be some boundaries, I believe. I know that dentists and have done really well with, and I'm still working to get into a doctor's office here where if someone wants to learn more, they can leave their name and their contact information so that they're giving permission for you to reach out to them with HIPAA. You know, you also have the HIPAA issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they say they want more information, then when you're not at work, you can reach out to them.
Okay.
And talk to them about it. We do have Juice Plus in a chiropractic office, which is great, but it's on the shelf. And we know that that's not the way we sell Juice Plus because there's nobody on the Children's Health Study. They're not getting any of the education. So if they don't really know what it is and what it's doing, it's going to be more difficult for them to be consistent as a customer. However, we love that she shares it and she loves the shred and she promotes us all the time. So that's really fortunate. There are physical therapists that share, there's dentists that share it. And that's what that's what I recommend is have a system where that person can then take the initiative to say they want more information and then you reach out to them.
Okay.
It's a really good question. And I think you do need to be careful.
Yes.
I don't know, Ann, do you feel like saying anything? Because I know you've been really effective as a nurse and you teach and you're probably aware of a lot of these issues. Ann Williams.
You wanted me to share a little bit of my story or?
Why don't you share how you share Juice? I know you've been so effective within your work in the hospital and in the school. Just share what's working for you.
Well, like Mike, I was in a really bad car accident last year, and we had been on the chewables and the shakes for 2 years. And so I suffered neck and back injury and was in constant chronic pain for a year. Physical therapy, massage therapy, dry needling, all that didn't help at all. And then because I wasn't able to work as a nurse, I said, okay, I need some other income here. I have 2 kids in college. And my friend Jamie, who's my rep, I kept giving her the customers and referring them. And she was saying, you could be making money here. Are you sure you don't want to do the business? And for 2 years, I was saying no. And then in January, I said yes. And then I was talking with Kelley, and she said to, why aren't you doing the capsules? And I said, well, I don't like taking pills. But anyways, I started adding the capsules to my shakes every day. And within 5 days, 90% of my pain that I had been suffering for a year was gone. And within a week, it was totally gone. I've been pain-free ever since. And I've taken the capsules every single day since. And recently switched with the Vineyards to at night. And my sleep was better, but it was still kind of chopped up, broken. But I've been doing the Vineyards at night now and sleeping solid every night. And Casey, the same thing. My hair is like unbelievable. My hair has never been this good. People at work are like stopping me saying, oh my God, it doesn't look good right now, but saying, oh my God, your hair looks so good. What are you doing? Somebody today, I was at work today, and one of the OR nurses, I hadn't seen her in a while. She stopped me and she's like, oh my God, you look so good. You've lost weight. And I did my first shred in February, and I lost 5 pounds in February. And I've done it every month since. And I've lost another 5 pounds. So I've lost a total of 10 pounds since doing the shreds in February. And people are like coming up to me. My scrubs are like hanging off of me. And I've really been able to share, what has worked for me and helped me. Also, my kids are seeing a huge change. They're both college athletes. Same thing, my son hasn't used his inhaler in 2 years. My daughter hasn't used antibiotics in 2 years. I haven't used my acid reflux medication in 2 years. My whole family, my extended family, my mother, my sister, my aunts have all seen huge health benefits from Juice Plus. And
I'm just going to stop you just a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you take us through how you shift from, if somebody says they notice a difference, how do you then start the dialogue with Juice Plus?
They, like this OR nurse today, she's like, I need to lose 10 pounds. I'm like, oh, well, would you like me to share with you what has helped me or what I've been doing? I was talking to another girl the other day that has MS, and she said, I saw you post about the protein bars. What is that? What are you taking? And I've been posting a lot more, with all these educational calls, and I've been sharing more about healthy things and, family and fun and exercise and nutrition on my Facebook post. And so people are coming to me or they're even private messaging me, tell me about the shred. What is this shred thing? I had 3 people, I think Monday, stop me in the hall at work and say, what is this shred 10 thing all about? So I said, okay, can I send you some videos about it? So I get their, their email or their phone number. I said, how would you like me to send you some information about it? And I have a list of people that just this week that I've sent the Shred TED information about, or the Healthy Living Revolution website. I was on the Shred 10 call last night with Ellie Shepley and Julia Shepley. And unbeknownst to me, I invited everybody on my Facebook list, contact list about that. And unbeknownst to me, 2 people in my town were on it that I'm friends with, and they both private messaged me afterwards and said, I want to talk to you about this. Can I call you? Or I want to sign up, or, so I kind of, like you said, Kelly, they say, oh, I need this, or they're interested in this. And I said, oh, well, I have information. Can I send it to you? And, can I share with you what's working for me? Or, so
that's where it's really good to have a good handle on all the events that we have during the week, so that when people say they're interested, you have something to invite them to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do a lot of inviting because I let you guys do the presentation, and, I get on, if they're there, I see it, and let them hear the information from someone else other than just me. That third-party validation is great.
Thank you, Anne. We're so glad to have your voice.
I'm
Thanks
so
for
glad to
joining
have
us.
Juice Plus.
Anybody else? Questions? Ariana, I hope that was helpful. And, if you have other questions, don't hesitate to send them.
Definitely helpful. Thank you.
Anybody else? I think one of the things is I've never really had Juice Plus as a massive sell. It's usually on an individual basis. I have the most effect one-on-one, because then that way you can really have a conversation with that person and find out what in it that we have might make sense to them. And you're going to find that out by asking them questions. Ask 3 good questions before you start talking and sharing. People don't really care about how much you know. They want to know why you're doing what you're doing. So that's where, if you can really anchor to why you've decided to add Juice Plus, why you're passionate about it, how it's helped you and your family, and anchor to that why, then it's going to be more powerful for you to share it. So I'm just going to share my why so you can see what it looks like. And I am committed to helping as many people as possible have the best possible life so they can have more, do more, and be more. The end. I'm going to stop the recording just a minute.